What's happening, folks? Back with some more punk rock, and we're back with T.S.O.L, True Sounds of Liberty. I explained this in the first couple reactions I did to T.S.O.L, but those were a long time ago, so to come back to it, T.S.O.L started in the early 80s, like hardcore, West Coast sort of punk rock, just, real old school 80s punk rock. Eventually, all of the original guys left the group, and when they were replaced, sort of one by one to the point where there was nobody left from the original group, the second version of the group became sort of like an 80s hard rock hair band, really like looking like Twisted Sister or something like that. Eventually, the original guys got control of the name again and sort of reformed the original version of the band, and they have since put out a more recent album, The Trigger Complex. I think it's like 2013. I haven't actually reacted to any of that yet, so at some point I'll get to that. But we're going to go back to their debut album. I'm trying to remember if it's 82 or 83. This is the reissue in 2007. Does it say it? I don't think it says the original year. I think it's either 82 or 83. And I've mentioned before, they're sort of seen as one of the pioneers of horror punk, because a lot of their stuff from this era has this dark, wicked, sort of murky sound, and the lyrics to fit right in. And indeed, this tune, the opening track of the album, Sounds of Laughter, I remember when I first heard it, there's a pretty clear and overt reference to like a split personality. And as I got older and I heard it more, I feel like there's a couple things going on. Like, one, I do think it's this like, he gets to a point where like the things he thinks are true are being condemned by society as lies, but he's still unconvinced. So there's this like, what's true and what's not, and everything that I think and I see is true, everyone's telling me is not true, and I don't trust them, and they think that I'm crazy. So there's this like me versus the world sentiment, and maybe a genuine lack of clarity as to what's real and what's not, even if he's convinced he's probably right. But I remember reading at some point that the lead singer, Jack Grisham, who on this album goes by the name Alex Morgan, I believe. Is it? Yeah, Alex Morgan. But really named Jack Grisham, and I think the songwriter of a lot of their stuff. So I remember reading that apparently, he sort of had an upbringing or, a coming of age experience like that, where, he was sort of seeing things differently than, people around him, his family, and, society and so on. And he was often told, you're just this crazy, you don't know what you're talking about, you're absolutely crazy. And so I think this is in some ways born out of his own experience. But let's listen to a lovely, dark, early 80s punk rock tune by T.S.O.L, and it's called Sounds of Laughter. It's literally too much. My system, like, it's all supported by a single chord that it doesn't lock in. It like, you put it in the groove, it plays, but it can get like shaken out. So let me back this up, because literally as I'm commenting on the bass, it was too much for my system. This is the second time around.
Lots of passion, colors of blood. There's passion in my mind. Things ahead to the world around me, but still they sound like
I hadn't reacted to this. I looked and apparently I'd only reacted to 2 T.S.O.L tunes before this, and neither of them were Sounds of Laughter, which again is surprising. And I feel like, it makes perfect sense to me. That's the opening tune of the album, and I feel like that, surely they use that to open concerts. Just the way those drums, followed by that bass line, which, a young Jay Bentley from Bad Religion would have been very proud of that. It reminds me of bass line from something like Part 3. Bad Religion song, which I do believe I reacted to a very long time ago, 2 years ago. In any case, the point is, it just has that early 80s hardcore feel. It's got a wickedness to it. You can feel kind of the horror punk vibes, even if they're not as notable lyrically on this one. I mean, it's a bit, it reminds me actually of like a Subhuman song, where there's like a personal component and a societal statement, but they're sort of bound up in each other in the way that, again, this person is being told that everything they think is crazy and lies, even though what he perceives is crazy and lies. And at some point he literally just says, like, what is it, something like, I'm going to believe, like, what I do. I'll look it up, actually, because that's apparently, I've been doing that more for the punk rock reactions. Luca, I apologize, but at this point my lap will have to, there you go. The chair, I promise you, is just as good. Okay, so let's see what we got. Yeah, I'd only done Love Story and Peace Through Power before this. Okay, so the lyrics, the sounds of laughter. I can hear the sounds of laughter. Could it be they're laughing at me? I can hear the roar of thunder. I'm mad, I'm deranged, I see. Clowns in costumes, voices that carry their messages to my mind. I'm like a child, so young and carefree. My eyes see what they want to see. That's what it is. Lights are flashing, colors are blurring, there are patterns in my mind, things are hidden to the world around me, but they still say I'm blind. They wrap me up in a web of lies, meet the man who's locked inside. I'm too many people in too many places, I have a split personality. I can hear the sounds of laughter, could it be they're laughing at me? I could hear the roar of thunder, I'm mad, I'm deranged, I see. Clowns in costumes, voices that carry their messages to my mind. I'm like a child, so young and carefree, my eyes see what they want to see. So I do think there's a nice little ambiguity, like he could genuinely be misperceiving things or even actually be crazy, and he's aware that, he's too many people in too many places. And he's genuinely saying, I have a split personality. So yeah, I feel like it's nice, because like, even though it feels like, again, a Subhuman song or, like a Bad Religion song where you're addressing the way that, society, as a lot of punks see it, is sort of, you're the backward one, like you're the one who do things like stupidly and cruelly and so on. So there's an element of that, but it feels like maybe he's actually the one who's crazy. There's a bit of a twist to it, which I like. And I would say also sonically, it reminds me of early Bad Religion, which is something that, any of that like kind of thrashier early 80s punk rock, it makes me think of that. But now that I've been going through early Social Distortion, it kind of reminds me of the material on Mommy's Little Monster. So once again, shout out to Paulie for always checking out the punk rock reactions and obviously, helping me with a lot of that material. Shout out to T.S.O.L. I really should listen to more of their music, as well as a lot of stuff over here. I mentioned Voodoo Glow Skulls. I have a bunch of their albums, and I've really only gone through a handful of tunes. So yeah, plenty more to go over here, but I do think I'm going to do another T.S.O.L. reaction in this same batch, because apparently I haven't reacted to Code Blue, which if you haven't heard it, please come back for that tune. I promise you will be amused. In any case, I will see you then. Peace.